Let's talk about making money with OpenClaw. But I'm going to approach this differently from most videos you've probably seen. No, like make money with AI in 30 days, no passive income system, and no vague advice like start freelancing or sell AI services, because that's where most of the content around AI completely falls apart. It sounds good, but it doesn't actually tell you anything useful. So instead, I want to break this down in a practical way, what OpenClaw actually does, where the real opportunities are, and what you would realistically need to do if you wanted to make money with it. So no fluff, no hype, just realistic things. First of all, let's clarify what OpenClaw actually is. At its core, it's a tool that automates AI workflows. Instead of manually prompting ChatGPT or other tools over and over again, you set up a system where multiple steps happen automatically. You input something once, and the system processes it through a chain of actions and gives you the final output. So in simple terms, it saves time, and that's important because time is what people are actually willing to pay for. But here's the part most people don't understand. The tool itself doesn't make you money. It doesn't matter how powerful it is. It doesn't matter how automated it is. If you're not solving a real problem for someone, it has no value. This is where most beginners go wrong. They think, I'll learn OpenClaw and then I'll offer AI services. But nobody is paying for AI services. That's too vague. People don't wake up thinking, oh, I need AI today. They think in terms of problems. So the actual opportunity is not in using the tool. It's in applying it to a specific problem that businesses already have. So, for example, instead of saying, I automate workflows, AI workflows, you position yourself as, I help real estate agents write better property listings in less time. All right? That's clear. That's specific. And that's something people understand immediately. There are already people doing exactly that. They take basic property descriptions, they run them through automated workflows, and generate improved versions that are optimized for search, structured properly, and they're ready to use. They charge per listing, not huge amounts individually, maybe $50 to $70, but when a client has dozens of listings, it adds up quickly. And this is the pattern you'll see across all the examples that actually work. It's not about selling AI. It's about solving repetitive, time-consuming tasks. Another strong example is e-commerce. Online stores often have hundreds of products, and writing descriptions for all of them takes time. Most store owners either rush through it or they don't do it properly at all. And this is where automation becomes valuable. If you can build a workflow that takes product information and generates consistent, structured descriptions that saves them hours of work, they're willing to pay that. They're willing to pay for that. And at first glance, charging a few dollars per product doesn't seem like much, like $2 to $5. But if a store needs 100 or 200 descriptions, that turns into a meaningful project. And once your system is set up, your output speed increases significantly. And that's where the leverage comes from. Another area where this works well is sales, specifically cold outreach. Most sales teams send large volumes of emails, and generic messages don't perform well anymore. Personalization is what increases response rates, but doing that manually takes time. If you can automate part of that process, generating personalized opening lines or adapting messaging based on the prospect, you're improving their results. And when you improve someone's results, you become valuable. The same idea applies to content. There are creators and consultants producing long-form content consistently, whether that's podcasts, videos, or articles, but most of that content only gets used once. They don't have the time to run it into multiple formats. If you can take one piece of content and repurpose it into multiple assets, social posts, summaries, newsletters, you're extending the value of what they've already created. And again, you're not selling AI, you're selling efficiency. Now, this all sounds straightforward, but here's where reality comes in. Building these workflows is not automatic. You need to understand how the system works. You need to test outputs. You need to refine the process until it produces something that's actually usable. And even then, the output won't be perfect. This is another thing that's often ignored. AI-generated content still needs human review. If it sounds robotic or generic, clients will notice. So the real goal is not 100% automation. It's getting 80 to 90% of the work done and then polishing the final result. That balance is what makes the service valuable. Now let's talk about getting clients, because this is where most people struggle. A lot of people spend time building something and then they wait. They assume that once they have the system, clients will appear. That doesn't happen. You need to actively reach out, and not in a generic way. So instead of saying, I offer AI automation services, you say, I noticed your product descriptions are inconsistent and I can rewrite them faster and improve how they look. I can show you an example as well. Now that's specific, and more importantly, it's relevant. The easiest way to get attention is to show some results. Take a real example, improve that example, and present the before and after. And when people see the difference, they understand the value immediately. You can offer value upfront, for free maybe, but just to show people what you can do. Now, freelance platforms can also work, but only if you position yourself correctly. If you list yourself as a general AI expert, you're going to blend in with everyone else. I've seen these posts on Fiverr, on Upwork. It's like, I use OpenClaw, period, right? If you offer a specific service with a clear outcome, you stand out. Descriptions for e-commerce, cold outreach, listings, customer support. Just be specific. And also, let's be realistic about some timelines, because this is another area where expectations often go wrong. In the beginning, you'll spend time learning, understanding the tool, OpenClaw, building your first workflows, and then testing them. Then you will spend time reaching out, getting ignored. That's a part of the process. Refine your approach. Eventually, you land your first client. Then you improve your system based on real feedback, and then you get a few more clients. All of this will take months, maybe weeks if you're lucky. But over time, your workflows become more efficient, your pricing improves, and your income becomes more stable. But this doesn't happen in a week, and it's not passive. Even when things are running smoothly, you're still managing clients, you're still improving systems and maintaining quality. So, a more accurate way to describe this is not passive income. It's semi-automated work. You reduce the manual effort, but you don't eliminate it completely. Now, the upside is still real, because once you build something that works, you can scale it. You can take the same system and apply it to more clients, or just slightly adapt it to similar problems in the same niche. But again, that only works if the foundation is solid. So here's the main takeaway. OpenClaw is just a tool, a useful one, but still just a tool. The money doesn't come from the tool. It comes from understanding what people are already struggling with and offering a faster, better way to solve it. A solution. If you approach this as, I want to make money with AI fast, you'll probably get stuck. If you approach it as, I want to solve a specific problem using OpenClaw, using AI, now you're thinking in the right direction. That's the difference between people who experiment with tools and people who actually build something with them. And that's also why most people don't make money with this. Not because it doesn't work, but because they never move past the idea stage. They learn the tool, but they don't apply it in a way that creates value. You have to think, and you have to get experience, and you have to move around and watch and notice what kind of problems people have. But if you avoid this mistake, you're already ahead. So yeah, wish you good luck, and I'll catch you in the next one.